to episode 32 of Knitting Needles and Stems. I'm Carrie, I'm your host, and today is Sunday, April 5th, 2026. Today's segments will include works in progress, finished objects, knit-alongs, my patterns, more out than in, and gardening. I'd like to welcome all my new viewers. Thanks very much for checking out the podcast, and welcome back to all my returning viewers. You can find me as Knitting Needles and Stems on Ravelry, Facebook, and Patreon. My Ravelry username is Kabammer. Let's see, what's new? I'm still looking for prize donations for the Advent Along 2026. This is the knit along that we're doing in our group. This is our first knit along, and you don't have to knit. It's an Advent along. So just use Advent yarns or any mini skein set that you bought as a set and make whatever you want for this. It started on February 1st and it runs through April 15th. So there's still about a week and a half left to get that. But I am looking for prize donations. If you're so inclined to donate a prize, it can be a gifted pattern. It could be something you have in your stash that you're wanting to give away, anything like that. Stitch markers, any of that kind of stuff would work great as a prize for this first knit along. There's about a week and a half left. As for cooking, yesterday I made a loaf of sourdough bread and I used coffee instead of the water, and I saw it on Facebook, someone had done it, and of course I had to try it. I thought that it would have more of a coffee flavor, but it did turn out really good. The bread is it's sourdough bread. I mean, it's delicious. So what else can you really ask for? And I made another batch of sourdough brownies, which is one of our favorites. It's an easy, quick way to use up some sourdough discard, which I usually don't have much discard because of the way that I control my sourdough through the week. So anyway, let's jump right into works in progress. The first thing that I worked on in the last couple weeks is my Broken Jack by General Hog Buffer. These have been hibernating quite a bit in my little basket, and I'm happy to announce that one heel has been turned. You can see the Fish Lips Kiss heel that I'm using there. The Fish Lips Kiss heel is by Socks Therapist. And the second one, I am it's almost all the way turned. So we got two heels, and then I can go on to the foot of the socks, and I'm really excited to get back into, the Fish Lips Kiss heel is pretty much a short row heel, and the whole pattern is like short rows, so it's a lot of short rows for this pattern, but I like short rows. I just finished that big shawl with the short rows, and this is, no different than that. So again, and for this one, I'm using Biscotti Yarns Bis Sock in the colorway 190708. These will be my 4th of July socks because they're red, white, and blue. And I keep them in this nice bag that Catherine made for us at the Yarniacs retreat last year. It really helps keep the stitches on your double pointed needles. You just put them in there, you snap and then they're not going anywhere. So again, that is Broken Jack by General Hog Buffer, and I'm using the Fish Lips Kiss heel by Patty Joy White, Socks Therapist, and Biscotti Yarns Bis Sock in the colorway 190708. Next is my Coziest Memory by Kemper Ray. For this one, I'm using all of the leftovers that are from the most recent project that I've finished or finished up using that yarn in this case, because I'm using what's left of my minis as I'm finishing them in my Corian from my Advent of 2025. So I've added 2 more squares this time, these 2 here, and you can see for the Corian, these are all from that, so you can see that it faded from the purple to the brown. And I mean, it's getting pretty long. I laid it out on the bed yesterday, and it looks like I'm gonna need another 5 squares before it's long enough, and then I can add my black stripe. I'm gonna do a black stripe underneath the squares, so I'm gonna have a row of squares, 1 garter ridge of black stripe in between each one, and then I'll do a black border around the outside too. So again, that is Coziest Memory by Kemper Ray, and I'm using whatever my most recent finished fingering weight yarn is at the time. Let me show you how I'm keeping all these. You'll probably laugh, this is the weirdest way ever, but this is just how my brain works because I want to keep them in order. So here's what I got. I got a necklace of yarn. This has the stitch marker on this side, so I know that these are to be used first. So these are the order of yarns that I have finished and are waiting to be put into this blanket. So totally weird, but that's the way I'm doing it. Okay, let me get this back in this bag, and the next thing that I worked on is the Sea of Flames poncho by Nancy McElmurray. For this one, I'm using 100 Ravens Yaksha in the Starry Night and Apollo colorways. So, and I'm using beads from Fire Mountain Gems. I just dropped my crochet hook under the table. So here is the poncho. It's all bunched up because my cord is short. You can see the color transition there. And I have a lot more of the yellow beads than I have of the purple beads. So I'm thinking I'm going to use the yellow beads through the gray section. Oh, here's the rest of my yarn. So it goes to this gray section and then to the golden yellow here, which is goes to the Apollo colorway. It's kind of washed out in the picture, but I'm hoping I'm going to use the yellow beads through the gray section, and then I'll switch to the purple beads in the gold, like the Apollo section. So here's the Apollo by itself. So I think the purple is going to look great against that, especially with the color being at the beginning of the poncho. And it's a really fun pattern. I'm using a crochet hook. I was using super floss to add my beads, and I switched to a crochet hook because it seems like it's just a bit easier for me. Let me grab that off the floor. So I'm using this little tiny crochet hook, which actually works pretty well with the Fire Mountain beads. They seem to all have a nice size hole, so this will fit in there. I could fit about 4 beads on here at a time and hold them on there while I'm working, and then add the beads as I go to them. You see Dexter? Hi Dexter! You going to be in the video today? Dexter wanted to be in the video today, so. So again, that was the Sea of Flames poncho by Nancy McElmurray, using 100 Ravens Yaksha, 100 Ravens Yaksha in Starry Night and Apollo. Next is my car project that I've been working on. It seems like it's been forever on the needles, but that's okay because I have something to do while I'm sitting and waiting. This is a Musselburgh by Isolde Teague, using Knit Picks Felici in the Olive Juice colorway. You can see all the colors there. You can see where I changed yarns a couple times. And on the last little bit of the yarn, I've got about 1, 2, 3, 4 colors left. The yellow, the white, the brown, the red. Yellow, white, brown, red. And then I'll figure out what to do with the other side. I'll probably switch to a solid green because I think I have a good green that'll go like a bright green like this. That'll go well with this. So it's coming along, slow moving, but it's moving. So again, this is Musselburgh by Isolde Teague, using Knit Picks Felici in the Olive Juice colorway. Then I've really worked a lot on my Corey Inn for Advent poncho by Amy Pelko. For this one, I'm using Low Did It L'Original in Eden, and the Lil Original in the 2025 Advent colorway. So this one, I've opened day 19. Let's see. Yeah, I've opened day 19. So I'm actually going a little bit bigger than what the pattern called for, because I want to use all 24 of my minis. But I really love, this is the wrong side. I really love the way the fade is working. Well, I really like it on this side too. And one of my friends actually is making the same poncho, and she says that she likes the knit side better. Hi, Kendra. And I told her it could be reversible. I mean, that side looks really nice, and then you turn it to what is supposed to be the right side, and that side looks really nice. So you could wear it either way. But on the right side, it has this is the purl side on the side that you're working on, but it's a knit ridge on this side. So that's what she really didn't like about it. But she liked the way that it looked on this side. See how it kind of dips in there instead. So, I mean, you can wear it either way. And I'm weaving in my ends on the knit side, because it's supposed to be the wrong side. So what I'll do is I'll start a new color. I'll go till I'm working the mini. They're about 25 grams each. I'm working the mini until I have 6 grams left, and then I cut it and I add the new one, and after a few rows I'll weave in those ends. And then with the 6 grams, I'm putting them into my blanket, and then whatever's left I'm putting into a magic ball that will have all the colors, and I'll make like a hat or something else with that. Probably a hat, because it would look really cool to have a hat to go with the poncho when you're wearing it. But anyway, so this is Corey Inn for Advent Poncho by Amy Pelko, and I'm using Low Did It L'Original in Eden, which is the solid here, and then the Lil Originals and the 2025 Advent colorway. And my bag is way too small for this, but I shove it in there anyway because I'm crazy like that. This is a bag from the Woolly Thistle. I got these from one of my friends in my spin group. Okay, next I started a new project because of the Love Your Stash cowl that is happening in the Yarniacs podcast group. This one lives in my Yarniac podcast bag. I love this bag. It has pockets, it has everything that you need. But the project that I started is 3-in-1 by Alpha Knits, using Collage Yarns Riveting Sport in Storm, Lava, and Sand. And this yarn is discontinued. I got it in a knit crate way back in the day. Sorry, I got some hair in my mouth. But it's made from recycled blue jeans. So it's cotton. Let me see what made from recycled blue jeans, made in the US from imported fibers. It is 95% cotton and 25% other. So this is going to be a summer sweater or fall. I'll wear it whenever I want, you know. It don't have to be that warm. But all I've gotten done is the the ribbing on the bottom. This pattern is a sweater, but it looks like you're layering 3 shirts. So this is the bottom ribbing, and it will have short rows to make it come out and bigger on the other side. And then you'll do short rows of color 2, which will be my sand color, to make, you know, make it come out on this side. And then the whole sweater is going to be the blue. In the sample, she used either striping or striped herself with the yarns, but I'm not going to because I have enough of these to do solid colors, and I'm gonna just use solid colors. So that's my plan. It's coming along really good. It feels like it's gonna be a pretty cozy sweater. So I'm looking forward to working on this some more. So again, that is 3-in-1 by Alpha Knits, using collage yarns, riveting sport in storm, lava, and sand. Okay, and I've still been working on my counted cross stitch. This is Day's End by Judy Gibson. I've got pretty much the whole bottom section done. I'm gonna start on the house soon, the cabin. And yeah, so counted cross stitch. I did buy myself a new gadget to use when I'm working on this, because sometimes I lose my place. So I bought a magnet board, and this is my magnet board. It came with, I think, 8 magnets, and it helps you keep place of where you are in your pattern. And so far I've really enjoyed it. I don't know what brand it is. I ordered it from Amazon. I'll post it in the show notes. But it comes with a stand too, so you can sit it and look at it as you're working on it. So, and this is actually the perfect size to fit in my bag that I keep this in. So it just works out perfect. So again, that is Counted Cross Stitch, Day's End by Judy Gibson. And I've actually still been spinning. I know I did it last time and this time. It's amazing. I'm going to show you the same thing that I showed you last time though, because this one is already off of the whirl, and I don't want to take my other one off. So this is the Rolags that we made in my spinners group a couple months ago. Mine were made with alpaca and a lot of firestar. You can see it's rainbow firestar that I used, and you can see, if I can get it to focus, you can see the colors in there. And I think it's going to be a 3-ply. I think I'll probably chain ply it and make it a 3-ply, and then figure out what to make with it, because I'm really excited to make something with it. I'm thinking maybe some fingerless mitts or something like that. So, and I spin on this is being spun on an Ashford Traveler wheel. Okay, let's move on to finished objects. So I finished my Sancho by Felipa Carnero, and he is so cute. Look at this little guy. He was naked last time you saw him, but I finished his sweater, and his sweater is made with mustache yarn and fiber. Perfect must match, and it was in the Equinox colorway. This is left over from the socks that I made for my oldest, and there's a little fun pattern on his shirt, and he's just really cute. I'm just really in love with this little bear, and I like that he's a polar bear wearing a nice colorful sweater. So yeah, I'm really happy with how he turned out. I can't wait for him to go live with a nice little kid that will be very happy to have gotten him. So again, this is Sancho by Felipa Carnero, And the white was just some random leftovers that I had. And his sweater color was mustache yarn and fiber, perfect must match, in the Equinox colorway. And then from the leftovers from my 2023 advent from Bumblebee Fibers, I made 2 little baby hats. So this first one is nice pastel colors, which is what everybody thinks of when they think of making hats for babies. But all babies don't have to wear pastel colors, so I made this little hat, which I really love. I love the colors in this one. And I didn't really use a pattern. I looked at a pattern to get an idea of how many stitches to cast on. And then I just went to 4 inches and used the grafting. I grafted the top together to close it. So yeah, I cast on 80 stitches. If anybody's interested, cast on 80 stitches, did about 10 rows of 1x1 rib, and then just did stockinette for the other 4, you know, the rest of the 4 inches until it was time to bind off. So 2 little baby hats. I'm going to continue making these and see how many I can acquire before it's time that Greg from the Unraveling podcast does his baby hat drive, and I can send them to him. Okay, that's all the finished objects I have for you today. Let's move on to knit-alongs. I mentioned our knit-along in the Knitting Needles and Stems group on Ravelry. It is the Advent Along 2026, and it runs from February 1st to April 15th, 2026. Any mini set that you bought as a set counts for this knit-along. It does not have to be an Advent set. And you can use it however you want. You can weave, you can crochet, if you want to sew with it. I mean, whatever you want to do with it, it doesn't matter, as long as you're making something with your Advent. And the next knit-along that I'm participating in is the Project a Month Cal group. And for this month of April, we are making cozies, any kind of cozy. I need a cozy for chapstick to hang on my purse so it's easily accessible to me. So that's what I'm going to make. And one of the other moderators is making a glasses case. If you want to make a mug cozy, or, you know, whatever you want to make, just a cozy for April of 2026. And the last knit-along that I'm participating in is in the Yarniacs podcast group. It is the Love Your Stash Cal, and it runs from March 20th to June 21st of 2026. And they'd encourage you to use stash yarn. So if it's been in your stash for a year or longer, it counts as stash yarn. That's what I've cast on my 3-in-1 for. That was actually the oldest yarn that I have cataloged in my stash on Ravelry. So yeah, so I get extra points for using my oldest yarn and for using a pattern that was paid and not made. So it was a paid pattern, a pattern that's not free on Ravelry, that I haven't made yet, but I had already purchased. So yeah, so that's the 3 knit-alongs that I'm participating in right now. Next, let's move on to more out than in. For March 2026, I did not buy any yarn, but I did finish my Nautilus Pompilius last month. So it's 930 yards out and 0 yards in for the year. That brings me to 2,000 yards out and 3,487 yards brought in, because I bought yarn for a baby blanket. And I won some yarn in the gift along, the indie gift along. I couldn't remember for a minute where I won the yarn. one yarn in the indie gift along, and I bought some yarn to make a blanket. So I'm catching up on getting more out than in for this month. Okay, let's move on to my patterns. I sell patterns on Ravelry as carried from fleece, and I'm happy to announce that my Mystery Critter 2026 has been released in both knit and crochet. You can find links down below to get your pattern there, and you can get 10% off until April 10th using the code SPRING 2026 when you check out. So join us in the Carried from Fleece Ravelry group for the knit along and crochet along, the make along. For that, I look forward to seeing the yarns that you choose, and yeah, I just want to see you there. So again, that is the Mystery Spring Knit Along and Crochet Along 2026, and the links for the patterns are linked below. My new shawl pattern is ready for tech editing. I just need to send it over. I've got it all typed up. I just need to send it over for tech editing. For that one, I use Leading Men Fiber Arts Show Stealer in Bare Necessities, Krampus, and Poison Apple. I'm hoping to have it come out in December or around December for Christmas time, because those colors are very Christmassy. And I'm finalizing the samples on the Colorwork Hat Pattern, and then I will send those to the tech editor before having them tested as well. They should come out probably next winter sometime, because it seems like a nice winter pattern. Okay, now let's go to an update on my resolutions for 2026. Okay, so as a reminder, my resolutions were to work from stash. Goal 1, work from stash. Goal 2, finish the whips that I carried over from 2025. Goal 3, continue cross stitch Tuesday. Goal 4, spin 6 skeins of yarn. And goal 5, add 1 square to the coziest memory blanket each week. So for goal 1, work from stash, I haven't started anything that wasn't in my stash so far before 2026. So that's a good one. Goal 2, finish the whips. I have not finished any of the 5 whips that I carried over from 2025. So that one is still on hold. Goal 3, continue cross stitch Tuesday. I've been working on my cross stitch every single Tuesday, except for I think one Tuesday I actually missed my cross stitch because I was trying to get something else done. Goal 4, spin 6 skeins of yarn. I have been spinning, so that's better than I was doing before. So I haven't finished a skein yet. It's April. I still have time. And goal 5, add 1 square to my coziest memory each week. I've been doing that every single Saturday. I'll add 1 more skein or 1 more square to my coziest memory blanket. So my resolutions seem to be going pretty good. I'll check in with you again next quarter, and we'll talk more about how that is going. Now let's move on to gardening. So it was my anniversary on April 1st. I know that's a weird day to get married. It was all because I would never be able to remember the anniversary if it wasn't on a day like April 1st that I could remember. So I did work on that day. It was a Wednesday this year, and one of my clients, who happens to be one of my husband's friends from high school's dad, actually brought me some flowers at work. So I wanted to show you what he got me. He got me this pot. It has these little daffodils. Oh, look how pretty those are. It's just so sweet. Let's see if I can get it to focus on the daffodil. They're so tiny. They're like 1.5 inches wide. And when we were sitting there talking, when I was doing his taxes, he said, oh look, there's something else down in there. And look at this. A little hidden gem in here. It's like a little hyacinth or or something of the sort. All it says on the tag here is bulbs, but it was super sweet for him to remember my anniversary and get this for me. And the whole time he was there, all we talked about was sourdough, because apparently his wife does sourdough too. So that's all we really talked about the whole time that he was there. But I'm gonna put these under my grow light, obviously, my light here, and let them grow for this season. And then I'm gonna save the bulbs and try to plant them outside like I did the ones that my kids got me for last year for Mother's Day. So I'll keep you updated. Excuse me. I'll keep you updated on that as well. So that's all that I have for you today. Until next time, keep doing what you love. Bye.